thanks for being with us on this Tuesday morning, June 17th for the last cup.
All right, today we are starting with a viewer submitted question because every single day we ask you to send them in, and one of you did. Thanks. Kathy from Sanford sent in this question. She asked if we could each share one thing that we love the most about each other. Added she'd like us to do it before Todd gets grumpy. So she actually wrote that in her question. So, okay, Kathy from Sanford, Love Fest morning cup, last cup version. So there you go.
Okay.
Todd, you want to go first?
Sure. First of all, thank you, Kathy, for sending that in. It's very sweet of you. Very sweet of you. And that was sincere. I mean it. I really mean it. I know you guys are laughing because it doesn't sound it, but I mean it. Thank you, Kathy. And thank anybody else for sending it. Like, please send them in.
We do want we want to make this a little interactive, so please
play
along
really
with us.
So let's see. I love Lee's. He's like the eternal optimist. He really is. He's like, I'm actually kind of jealous of it because I'm like the opposite of that, the eternal pessimist. And I don't know, despite like, you work your tail off, you've got like 30,000 children and pets, and you must just be exhausted all the time. Like to the point where like if it were me, it would be hard to just to like put a smile on my face, but you do it day in and day out, and you stay like very positive all the time and optimistic all the time. And it's a tribute to you and your character, and I admire it a lot.
You're very uncomfortable hearing compliments, aren't you?
I'm so bad at it too.
It's hard for all of us, right? It's like if somebody just says really quickly, like, I like your jacket or something superficial like that, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
But if there's like a speech, I could tell you were getting uncomfortable.
But it's true.
Thanks, Kathy.
It's cute.
To your point, real quick, I'll do you in a second, but like, I have that problem too. Like, if my wife ever gives me a compliment for anything, and she does often, it's just not mean or anything, but I make like this weird like noise. Like I'm like, I'll make like a grunt or like a or like I don't know why. I don't receive compliments well. I never have.
I think that's common. I don't know. I don't think that's,
it probably is. It probably is. As far as Sharon goes, I appreciate Sharon because I feel like we have more in common where we're kind of more real, and like Goldie at times lives in this fantasy world where everything's just going to work out and everything's just going to be beautiful with unicorns and rainbows. I think Sharon's more of a realist like I am, and we just face that sometimes it won't work out like that, and that's life. Like life doesn't always just hand you things on a silver platter. So I appreciate that about her, but I also just love her. She's just so wise, and just have, I still consider, I consider all of us young, like young at heart and just young, because I've known you since I was in my 20s. So I don't know, like I know we're old, but I don't feel that way. I know you guys don't feel that way, but I feel like you're just so wise and you have so much wisdom. And you pass it on, like especially with parenting and especially with your daughters, like having that. Like I'll come to her sometimes and just mention, it's a struggle. I have a 15-year-old daughter, a 15-year-old son. I have twins, but my 15-year-old daughter especially, it's really tough to have to connect with her without, it's just hard. And you have that insight with your daughters, but a million other things in this world too that you have just unique wisdom and insight and vision, and
if only I could apply it to my own life.
Right.
Well, isn't that a thing though?
So
like
That's supposed to be our
that
goal,
is
to
right.
make them better than we are.
Oh,
Right.
like I'm sure like a person who teaches like golf, like a golf instructor, like they're probably not as good as they teach. Like it's something like that.
Right.
We're full of advice, but we don't.
For everyone else,
For
right?
everyone else,
Yeah.
but us. So anyway.
All right,
there you go.
go down the line.
Sure.
Go down the line. I actually I know that the most obvious thing, Todd, to say about you that I appreciate about you is how realistic you are and how real you are. But actually what I appreciate is one thing that we have in common big time is just how frugal you are. Like,
right.
Especially ever since—
I appreciate you didn't say cheap. You know, you said frugal.
Because I don't actually think you're cheap.
No,
I actually
really
think
not.
you're frugal.
I'm not. I'm just, thrifty.
Thrifty, yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because when you share values with someone, that's a nice feeling, right?
Yeah.
And so it's funny, especially since doing the last cup, I've learned so many more little idiosyncrasies of yours that I share. Like, I think we have a ton in common.
Yeah.
It drives us crazy when anyone else stacks the dishwasher in a way that it doesn't take up every millimeter of available space, because that's wasting water and dish soap, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now, by the way, we're sending each other pictures of the toilet paper thing. Yes. Our whole weekend was like, oh, but look at this one. I walk in the bathroom, I grab my phone. I'm like, I gotta send this to Sharon in time.
Right. It's like our ongoing joke.
Right, because if you missed it on a previous Last Cup, we talked about how crazy it makes us when the kids, especially, are so lazy they can't put the toilet paper roll on the roller thingy. Yeah.
Right next to it, though, no problem.
Yeah.
Right next to it.
Sure.
So thank you for sharing idiosyncracies with me and wanting the toilet paper to go in the right direction and wanting the dishwasher stacked correctly.
The right direction.
Correct. And not wanting to waste food and all that good stuff.
So I wonder if we would be compatible.
Nope.
We wouldn't be?
No.
Why is that though? Do you feel like opposites attract? Is that why? You do?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Because I feel like the little things are the things that actually do chew away. They create animosities. They create stresses in relationships. And if our little things aren't a problem, we might be really we might be soulmates.
All right, move
Sharon.
over, Rachel.
This just took a turn. I'm like Chuck Woolery over here. We're back at 2 and 2.
Woolery. There's a Chuck Woolery reference.
It's Love Connection.
I know. It's amazing.
best show.
It's amazing.
Okay, that just got weird fast. All right. And Lee, I mean, come on. In addition to being the eternal optimist, will be there in a flash for you, no matter what you need. I don't want to start crying. I'm such an emotional being. But seriously, no matter what, you mentioned how busy his life is. The guy works all the time. You've got all your children. You are such a family guy. You've got all your pets. You take care of everyone around you. And it doesn't matter what it is. I always feel weird whenever you reach out, if I'm homesick or something, you're like, you need anything? It's like—
He's the first one.
Totally.
Whether it's you or me or any of our offspring or he I don't know where do you write it in your phone? Do you set an alarm to check up on people?
Right.
It's amazing. You're you're unique. It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's very much appreciated.
My turn?
Yes.
Pass.
Well, there you go.
See?
Couldn't all be happy.
There's that sniper from the side stuff I was telling you about.
Yeah,
Todd, I'll start with you. My other son, / brother. I never had a brother, so you're probably the closest thing I had. So
that's cool.
We go way back. I mean,
we do.
I was divorced, and you pulled me through that. You were the only one that I really confided in through all that. That's hard to go through. Yeah. And so, we were on the weekend crew playing Texas Hold'em heads up.
I was your wingman for a little while there.
For a long time. That's right. Bars open until another hour. Let's go. So work-wise, I will say I think we're very similar work-wise. Yeah. I think when stuff happens, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, the first thing you do is head to work. And I feel like I'm the same way. And I love that because I love this place and I love our brand and I love what it means and I love people who like to work, and you definitely like to work. So I do love that. And anytime I've ever needed anything, you're always been there. Even when you were in Boston, we stayed in touch. And part of the plan to recruit you back to Maine instead of staying in the big city was our news director had the great idea to have me and another couple of your buddies come down and kind of surprise you and be like, look, you miss us. And so I love being
That
a part
was
of
brilliant,
that.
by the way.
It was a great idea.
Very manipulative and brilliant.
Great
It was
idea.
so special. Here's the story. I was on vacation, family vacation. My dad's side, I have a full brother, I have a half brother, a half sister, and my dad remarried, second marriage. So my stepmother was out there. There was like 15 of us on it. We used to go to Cape Cod all the way out to Truro every summer for a week. And we were on a family vacation, and our news director, who's our news director now, reached out and was like, hey, and they were in the process of recruiting me. I was trying to figure out whether I was going to stay in Boston, go back home to Hartford, where I grew up. There was an opportunity there, or down to Philadelphia. There was an opportunity there. Or come to little old Maine, and take a huge pay cut, but it was quality of life thing. And Mike, our news director, reached out and was like, hey, I want to come down and just real quick, and maybe can we grab a bite to eat, that kind of thing, just a quick lunch. So I was like, I was on vacation with my family, and I was
you were
like,
in Cape Cod. It was a long drive.
Yeah. So
I drove.
anyway,
I remember.
You were the one who drove it?
Yes, and we had to take my raise.
Took a minivan,
Randy
right?
goes, no, we'll take your car. I go, yeah, okay. Am I getting gas for this? Like, I'm getting 4 miles a gallon here. He's like, yeah, you're good. We had this big Suburban. We all piled in it. So.
Yeah. So a bunch of guys got in. It was Caldwell,
Teddy V.
who was behind the scenes here, no longer working here.
Yeah.
Yourself and Mike Redding, our news director. And Mike met me in the parking lot, and then we walked in.
You were like hiding in a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like I was in tears. It was really, really special. Hit me right here, and honestly, that was what sealed the deal for me to come to little old Maine and take that pay cut. And when we left in 2007, because I started in 2000, we left in 2007, and my wife and I, who both grew up in Connecticut, same town, 3 streets apart from each other, said, yeah, we'll never go back to Maine. We're just going to keep going south, closer to Connecticut. And things just life changes. We had our kids. They were about to hit grade school. They were about to become kindergartners, and the opportunity opened up, and things just started. And we just let's go back to Maine and raise our children in a great place. And
no regrets, right?
Well, we literally cried the whole way up. And because we had such a great community of friends. We lived down in Wayland, Massachusetts, and my wife and myself, we had all of our friends had kids the same age. There was like 5 different families. We all lived within like a square mile of each other. So our social lives there were amazing and so supportive. But the job was it's a rat race down there. I mean, you all know, you travel south. There's a traffic jam on a Saturday at 1 o'clock on 40 for nothing. There's literally nothing. There's no reason for it. So you all know, and the lines are long. There's a lot of, it's just, the quality of life stinks. And I grew up in it. I grew up in Connecticut. I know. And we came back here, and within like 2 months, it was a little rough to just, that first month, getting the kids in school. And my wife, she was working down there. She didn't work up here, and that was hard on her that first year, not to work. It was hard for the first couple months, but within like 2-3 months, it became just like, why was there so much angst over that decision? It was just a no-brainer.
It felt
like
absolutely
you said,
right.
100%. And to this point, like, we never want to leave now. Even though my wife can't stand winter, like, I love winter. She can't stand it, and she skied a little bit as an adult, but then she blew out her ACL a couple of summers ago, and she won't ski again. So that kind of stinks. So winters are a little hard on her, but I love them. I love the cold.
You're almost empty nesters, and
I know,
with your
it's
ability
crazy.
to find great travel deals, you guys can do your winter getaway, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So that's what I like about you.
Thanks.
Is that the question?
I know.
Just don't give Todd the ball, because
I just love to talk. I love to talk.
Whenever he gets it.
I love it.
And then
I love
there's
it.
you,
Aw.
my buddy. So we've been together since 1993.
Essentially
So
married.
a long time.
We call each other the work
Yeah,
wife
you
and
are.
work husband.
We have
You
been
are.
together a
Very
long
true.
time. So we started working together in 93, and then we stayed working in the same place, just on way different shifts.
Right. Didn't really see each other for years.
No, but
at
never
all.
stayed out of touch.
Right.
And then
Because you were both in Bangor together, correct?
yeah,
Yes.
I was in Bangor
At the same time?
first, and then she came and joined the team.
Yeah.
Right.
To get
Were you
her-
on the same shift then?
Yes.
Yes.
So you would go out to the bars together and stuff like that?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, because you guys were way younger.
I've got pictures.
We've got stories.
I've got videos. I got the old VHS recorders. I got it all.
Did you guys ever hook up?
No, Jesus, she
Come
was
on.
married.
No.
You were married at the time?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
married to Chris at the time.
Oh, all
so
right.
I started in Portland as a producer.
What? That's a logical question when you're in your 20s in a newsroom where you guys are relying
True
on.
story.
Okay.
True,
It happens all the time.
That's a fair question. It didn't happen.
Okay.
I was married. Chris
I
and
did hook up with Chris, so which is weird. That's a whole other story. Maybe we do that next time.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
You remember that? I thought you guys remember that.
I remember.
You remember that?
Oh Lord. Anyhow, yeah. So I had started down here as a producer. Met Chris, we got married. Then I went up to Bangor, and Chris and I would just see each other on weekends, and we worked the same shift up there. I was anchoring the 6 and 11. He was doing sports for 6 and 11.
Okay, so you
yeah.
guys-
Okay, so
Yeah.
what I love about you was the question. Besides everything, no, you're just, I don't know, you're just, I said this to you the other day before I even knew this was going to be a question. It was like a couple weeks ago. You're just so easy to work with. Like I also soloed Sports Is by yourself. So by myself, I didn't have to anchor with anybody else. For 27 years, I just me. That was easy. So working with someone else is not always easy. I've been very lucky. I've had great partners. I worked with Amanda first, and then Lindsay Mills after that, and then you. So I feel like I've hit the trifecta on people to work with. But you're just easy. Like you finish my thoughts, and like I know what you're thinking, and you know what I'm thinking, and that it took not very long to figure that out.
No, it didn't take long at all.
And this show kind of requires that. But that's work, and I count on you to keep me straight at work. Like Ed, you're
On the
just like
tracks.
Todd said, that you're just smart and you get
Yeah.
it, and you know, and you teach when you don't even know you're teaching. Not in a preachy way, just everything you do teaches the kids that we work with, the producers and the directors, and they all learn from you whenever you say stuff. I'm like, Sharon's talking.
Right.
But more important than that, I'm super jealous in the best way possible that you literally give 0 Fs about other people. And I can't do that. That's not me.
Wait.
About what other people think.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Yeah, you don't care about people. No, about what other people think. And
I'm amazing.
I can't. I am not that person, and I can't be that person. And I'm envious that you are that person. And I watch you. I'm like, look at you. Like you're just you, and you live your life, and you do what you want to do, and you're just like, this is me, unapologetically you. And I love that you get to do that.
It took me a long time
it's
to
so
get here.
freeing to watch you be you.
Well,
like I
thank
just
you.
love it.
Yeah.
Thank you
Because
very
people
much.
with public jobs don't always also do that because,
True.
oh no, there's Sharon Rose, and what is she going to do? And oh my God, I saw her, dancing at the bar. Well, yeah, we're allowed to dance at the bar.
Right,
Like, so,
right. Yeah, it took me a while to get here.
it's great.
It took me a while to get here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it's genuine.
It is.
100%.
Do you feel like? I mean, you just said you're jealous of that. Do you? Why?
Well, I
Why
don't
are you
know.
jealous of that?
Because I don't know that I can. First of all, we're not the same person, so I
Correct.
wouldn't. I'm not.
It's not your personality.
Yeah, whether I had a job as an accountant or on television, I wouldn't be hanging upside down from a tree naked drinking a beer. She would. It's okay. So it's how we met. So
And we still didn't.
and we
hook up.
still do.
Literally low hanging fruit, and you didn't hook up.
See what great restraint we have.
I don't know. I think there's definitely a measure of me that is more close to the vest and reserved.
Yeah.
I'm super like type A and anal and OCD, and I don't ever let anybody take care of me. Like I'm not that person. I've literally been drunk in my life one time, where someone had to take care of me, and it was my mom, and it was my 21st birthday, and not since.
What was the alcohol?
Yeah. Yes.
All of it?
whatever.
Is there an alcohol you can't
It was
drink?
up and down
Yes.
Free Street and every bar
You
that
just
was
hit every
open,
bar?
and then I fell asleep on a park bench in Monument Square. Yeah, good times. So, but not since. I didn't like the feeling of the. So I
Yeah.
a person who just, but not even alcohol related, just in life. I make very usually carefully and cautious and calculated
so
decisions.
it's not that you're not you.
You're just not
it's you're a little jealous of being able to crash through life.
Yeah. Or take some risks.
With no bumpers.
Yeah. Like,
right.
And you just do whatever you want to do when you want to do it.
Right.
And I'm like, good for you. Like, I love that. So.
Well, thank
kind
you.
of carefree and
it's a
spontaneous.
Great,
is the
like
word.
there's no going to be. I wish I had done that when this one checks out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's
True story.
She did it.
She did
It's
it.
probably why she checked out. 'Cause she did it. So
That's not a lie either. That's it. Well, thank you.
I love you
Thank
both.
That
I
was
came
fun.
to this shift because of you two.
Yeah.
If you two were not anchoring in the mornings, I'm not getting up at 2 in the morning to go to work. Nobody does that.
That's really sweet.
On purpose. So I did it because you two were here, and I'm like, good. I can be with my people and finish out however many years I got left working with these two. So
I have to say, I feel super, super fortunate to be on this shift with the two of you. We are very lucky in this business. And I think, as you know, going to Boston, it's, here in Maine attracts good people. This station attracts good people by and large, like the best. And like you said, like I've always worked with Rory Johnston in Bangor. Some of you will remember when I first came back down to Portland. I worked with Rob Caldwell. Talk about someone who teaches just by being in his presence, right?
It's just,
amazing. So I also have worked with amazing people, but like there's something special about when you get to sort of maybe the last chapter of your career, being able to really love the people you work with and enjoy your time. And what I was started to say is I think here in Maine that's more common than not, but in a lot of markets it's not.
It 100% is not. It is not. And especially as we age and we're getting, toward, I wouldn't say twilight of our careers, but maybe it's the last third of our careers.
Oh, the sun's going down. The sun's going down.
who's going to be the first to retire of the three of us?
Probably this one.
I think this one too,
Yeah.
but I won't let it happen. I'm gonna
You're gonna
dude. I am gonna buckle right onto that thing. I'll be hanging on.
lock her down.
I am hanging on.
Lock her
to that.
down.
You better have a ways to go.
Yeah.
So anyway, great question. I hope we
Yeah,
answered it.
that was fun.
I know, right?
That was fun.
We talked for 30 minutes.
I'm never giving out
gosh.
compliments again.
Yeah, I know.
don't ever
You
ask that.
pulled compliments out of Todd. Oh my gosh, Kathy, mark this day on your calendar.
Seriously.
Well done. We got to send her a T-shirt.
We also forgot to record this, so there's no proof.
All right, we got some celebrity birthdays to
right.
get to.
I'm so excited about the first one.
Me too. Multi-platinum artist, right here.
They were young and they had each other. Who could ask for more at the Copacabana? The hottest spot.
Yep. Barry Manilow is, you want to guess? 82
I
years
actually would have
old.
guessed older.
Yeah.
Would you have?
Yeah, I would have guessed older.
Yeah. His career spanned over 60 years. He's well known for songs like Copacabana, also Mandy, Weekend in New England. And a fun fact, he's been nominated for a Grammy Award as a producer, arranger, or performer every decade since the 70s.
I have seen Barry Manilow in concert
Yeah.
You have.
in Las Vegas.
Really?
I was so excited. Yes. So a lot of people, I'm a huge Barry Manilow fan. So if you don't know this already, do this when you have time. Go on YouTube or whatever and just Google Barry Manilow jingles. He has written so many commercials for products that we know. And
Does he do the?
He does a medley where he performs like all of his jingles. He doesn't sing them, but he
doesn't
wrote them.
sing them.
Yes.
Okay.
So like he wrote like
which
a good
ones?
neighbor, State Farm is
Oh
there.
my gosh.
He wrote that jingle. He wrote one for McDonald's. He's written a ton of them, but he does a medley of all of his jingles. He's like, you might not know, but I wrote these, and he starts singing them. Like, shut up.
That's
like,
fabulous.
This is at the concert he did that?
Yes, and
Oh,
it's
that's
online.
super
You can find it
cool.
online. It's
Shows how multi-talented he
it's
is.
really good.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but he was super, super popular at the height and heyday of his career. And then it seemed like there was a period of time where he was kind of the joke. Like people made fun of how sappy Mandy was and
Right.
stuff like that. And then there was some kind of resurgence.
Yeah,
Am I wrong about that?
No, I think that happened. I think it was more of like there were just people who were just
Haters.
jealous. Yeah, just then the internet came out, so people were like, oh, Barry Manilow. But I mean, so I was
Which
thinking it was
is
more
what
of that.
happens.
But
as
he's like
soon as
literally
someone hits
beloved.
the pinnacle,
Yeah.
there are people out there who want to tear
I
you
mean,
down. And
he
then
still has
build
a
you back up.
residency and he's still performing.
Is
He's
he-
82 years old.
He's still out
Amazing.
there.
Yes.
Where is his?
I think he's in Vegas still.
Do you know what hotel he's
I
at?
don't.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but,
when you saw him, was it at a hotel or
It was.
Which
Yeah.
one? Do you remember?
Nope. It was 20 plus years
Oh,
ago.
it was. Oh,
It was
I
a
thought
long
it was
time
when you
ago.
went. Didn't
I
you go
didn't
a few?
go. No.
A couple, you
I
didn't
was supposed to go this
Vegas?
year. I didn't go. Well, yeah.
That's a whole other story.
Coming soon. So anyway, yeah. So he's tremendous. Also, in the state of Maine, state law, not people know this. If you have a wood burning fireplace, you have to play Barry Manilow. State law.
Okay.
Maybe not. Another famous artist's birthday, Kendrick Lamar. The rapper is 38 years old. Lamar, this year's Super Bowl halftime performer, regarded as one of the most influential musicians of the 2010s. In fact, back in 2018, he became the first musician outside of classical and jazz genre to get a Pulitzer Prize for music. So he is hot right now.
he is.
He's what
Yeah, he
everybody's
is.
talking about. So there you go.
All right, aside from celebrity birthdays, there are a lot of other things to celebrate today, too. Sweets. Let's start there, because we always do. First of all, it is Root Beer Day. The frothy drink, a lot of people say, is part of the fabric of the American culture. If you're looking for something to do today, you could try a root beer taste test to see which brand your favorite is, or maybe go have a root beer float. Yum. I used to work at a diner where we would make those. Do you know what the key to making a good root beer float is? You have to pour some root beer in the glass and then stir it fast to get all the fizz out.
Okay.
Then you put your ice cream in, then just a little more root beer to get just a little bit of fizz. Because if you don't do that, it gets too frothy.
Yeah.
Like you want just a little bit of froth on the top.
Oh, interesting.
Boom, you're welcome.
My parents
secret to a
never
good
let
root
me
beer
drink
float.
soda, but I was allowed to drink root beer because there was no caffeine in it.
Yeah.
So that
Right.
was the soda I was basically allowed to drink. So
Yeah.
as a kid, whatever A&W I think was probably the popular brand. So
Barks has Bite. I think it was Barks. root
yeah,
beer,
that came out I
and
think a
then
little later. But
Something
yeah,
with an H, maybe like a not high. I don't know.
So, we've heard about how your dad was like the ketchup brand,
yes.
police.
Yep.
Anyone got a favorite root beer brand, or does it not?
Yeah, I mean A&W was probably the one.
Yeah, there was an
Okay.
A&W in our mall where I grew up in Connecticut. There was an A&W in the mall, and that was like this novelty when it opened up in there. It would be like if a Chick-fil-A opened.
Sure.
When Chick-fil-A opened up here in Maine, and the lines were crazy.
Right.
That's what it was
I
like.
used to
when
love those
A&W
root beer barrels too, the hard candy. So there's a hard
yes.
candy
Oh, yeah.
where it was
Yes,
a
there
root beer
is.
barrel, and
Yeah.
it was literally looked like a barrel and
Yeah.
tasted like root beer.
Yeah.
So.
Did you ever do like birch beer? Did you like? Because that's very similar.
My dad liked sarsaparilla. I don't know if you remember
Sarsaparilla,
that,
sure.
but that was an old school
Yeah.
one. So I drank that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Every 10 years or so, when I have a soda, I like root beer.
It's root beer? That's what you do?
Well, root beer, maybe Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper's really
Yeah.
good.
I love Dr. Pepper,
Yeah. Nothing's like Coca-Cola,
good.
in my opinion.
except for Pepsi.
Oh, here we go.
mean, they're like it.
Shockingly, we're on opposite sides of soda too. All right, it is apple strudel day, my favorite. The pastry is good to have for breakfast and for dessert. So if you're an apple strudel person, today is your day.
Hang on a second. Apple strudel is your favorite, but you don't eat apple
just
pie?
joking.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, they're like almost, no.
Exactly the same thing,
Yeah.
basically.
No,
Different
not
shape,
eating
but
Yeah.
otherwise
You know what?
the
I like
same.
Apple Jacks. How about that?
Okay.
I love Apple
Fair
Jacks.
enough.
That's
Fair enough.
fruit. It says apple.
Oh, good
I
lord.
don't even know if there's like real fruit flavor in it. It might be just artificial
Probably,
apple
yeah,
flavor.
probably not even
Apple
any
Jacks.
real
Love 'em.
apple.
Apple Jacks are great. A is for apple, J is for Jacks.
Yep.
Cinnamon toasty.
Oh,
Apple
good
Jacks.
lord.
If you need a good breakfast, that's a fact. Start it out with Apple Jacks.
Did Barry Manilow
Written
write
by
that?
Barry Manilow.
All right, we got to make up for all those sweets, right? If you're oozing sweet right now.
This is not a thing.
Call back to yesterday. Today is Eat Your Vegetables Day.
Oh, wow.
Today. So
Not.
yesterday was like a vegetable day. Today is Eat Your Vegetable Day. So
That's a
did you eat
plant.
any vegetables yesterday, Lee? After
Yeah, what'd
being
you have for
called
dinner?
out?
Hold on.
You thinking?
Yes.
What was dinner last night? Do you recall? I'm sure you made it.
No.
No?
No vegetables for dinner. I had vegetables.
So confused.
I had vegetables that with lunch.
What were they?
Vegetables that with lunch.
I
is
had
what you
I had
just said.
some. Well, it was from the day before. I had General Tso's chicken with broccoli. So that counts.
Sure.
How
There you
many
go.
pieces of broccoli do you?
It was broccoli.
It's like one piece of broccoli in that.
There was broccoli, and I ate it.
Okay.
What was dinner last night?
Kentucky Fried Chicken. All right, it is National Mascot Day. No veggies there. One of Maine's mascots is actually a pretty big deal. Hey, it's Slugger. Inducted into the Mascot Hall of Fame in 2023, the very first minor league mascot to be honored at the Hall of Fame. Slugger is not the only sports mascot in Maine, though. Obviously, the Mariners have Beacon, that's a puffin, and the Maine Celtics have Crusher, the Green Lobster. So, got all kinds of animal mascots in our state. So,
Slugger.
got bananas, the black bear, got lots of them. We got lots of animals. So, there you go. Slugger's the
I've only
best.
met 2 of the 3. I don't think I've met the lobster. The
No, I haven't either. That's the one I haven't
Yeah.
met.
Maine Celtics. I have not met.
Crusher. Well, have him come in.
Crusher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we have Crusher
Beacon,
in here?
we
Should have had Crusher come in yesterday on Lobster Day.
No.
Oh, that's
He was
true.
in hiding that
Crusher's
day.
in the,
Oh, right.
Crusher's
Yeah.
in the witness protection program.
Yes.
Keep Crusher safe.
That's funny.
All right, let's get to some weather.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll do some weather. I'll be back in a sec. All right.
Todd's main job.
Yeah.
He has no idea what's happening.
Well, on this, you never know which direction we're going to end up
That's
going.
very
in,
true.
so.
Fair enough.
So the high that gave us 2 just spectacular days in a row, Sunday, yesterday, Monday, is now south of Newfoundland. It's pretty far away. We've got a lot more cloud cover around. There are numerous showers to our south, Connecticut, Rhode Island. There's Connecticut, there's Rhode Island. Massachusetts is what I was trying to say. And the flow's on shore. So we're going to see mostly cloudy skies today and also for a good chunk of tomorrow. But humidity is going to start to build north. Heat's going to start to build north. And while today is cool in the 60s, tomorrow's in the 70s, Thursday's in the 80s. And by then we're going to have a trigger, this cold front coming through with some thunderstorms. So mostly cloudy skies out there this morning. We are going to see some sunshine, but it's eastern and northern Maine, and in those places will be 70 plus. Can't rule out a shower really at any time. There won't be much wet weather though until this evening. After 5 o'clock, these rain showers will be working across the state, and it looks like we will all end up with some wet weather at some point tonight. Highs today, 70 plus. In fact, the warmest numbers are going to be from far northern Maine. Caribou, second day in a row, very close to 80 degrees. Contrast that with only mid-60s for Lewiston, Portland, Freiburg, Sanford, and Portsmouth. Normal high is 74, so we're pretty far from that, 10 degrees shy. Tomorrow, stickier, afternoon sunshine. Thursday, hot and humid with afternoon sunshine. And a trigger coming in will likely lead to some thunderstorms. After that, though, that front south of us, big high builds in for Friday and for Saturday. It looks really good to me right now. Both Friday and Saturday during the days looks really, really nice. And then we might have a few showers Sunday morning. Timing out showers tonight and tomorrow morning. They'll be leaving the coastline when we get up tomorrow morning. That's Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Afternoon, we break into some sunshine, highs in the 70s. Tomorrow night, the clouds and fog return. It'll be a misty Thursday morning, but again, burning off the clouds into sunshine, and it looks like a lot of us will top 80 degrees. And then in the evening, there will be some strong storms coming across the Canadian border through the Central Highlands and probably into eastern Maine sometime around sunset. And they may end up packing a punch. We'll have to watch those pretty closely. There's the marine forecast from the Weather Service. So high pressure will give us some good weather here Friday into Saturday, but today it's mostly cloudy. Tomorrow morning starts cloudy, ends with some sun. We get some thunderstorms Thursday afternoon. All right, guys.
All right, sir. Thank you. Let's take a look at some stories we're following on this Tuesday morning. Governor Mills joined governors from the Northeast to repair some rocky relations with several Canadian premiers. The regional leaders held several closed-door meetings about trade and energy and tourism, manufacturing, all this happening yesterday at the State House in Massachusetts. The summit is coming months after President Trump called for Canada to become the 51st state, also issued tariffs on that nation. According to Governor Mills, she has condemned all of those things. Several Canadian leaders said they're looking for the U.S. to recommit to some close economic ties.
We all share the same values, and we all want the same end game.
Canada and Canadians do not deserve the expressions of disrespect that they're receiving. We honor our Canadian friends and neighbors.
The heads of provinces from Ontario to Prince Edward Island all say they've been hit hard by trade barriers between the two countries. Other leaders say things in Washington need to change before they will encourage Canadians to come back and visit the U.S. again.
In Washington, Republicans on the Senate Finance Committee have released their portion of the massive domestic policy bill aligned with President Trump's agenda. One of the biggest concerns about the bill is that it includes a number of Medicaid spending cuts. Medicaid advocates here in Maine discussed some of their concerns during a meeting last night. The American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network says if the bill passes, thousands of people in the state will be at risk of losing their coverage. And even Republican State Senator Rick Bennett says that would make the state's current health care crisis even worse.
Rural populations depend, for better or worse, on Medicaid at significantly higher rates than those in more developed areas.
Senate Republicans are hoping to pass the broader domestic policy package by July 4th, aiming to send it to Trump's desk by the end of next month.
All right, back in Maine now. Police in Lewiston are investigating a shooting over the weekend. They say it happened Saturday right near Bartlett and Walnut Streets. That's where officers found Malik Hollis inside a nearby apartment with 2 gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital, is expected to recover. Investigators believe Hollis was shot outside and then went into the apartment building before the police got there.
It's a disservice to the immigrant populations that make Maine great, and it's not what we stand for as residents, taxpayers, and voters.
Some members of the public in Portland are asking law enforcement to release ICE detainees being held at the Cumberland County Jail. This was during last night's Cumberland County Board of Commissioners meeting. Sheriff Kevin Joyce says right now 60 people are in ICE custody at the Cumberland County Jail. He says, though, that state law requires county officials to hold those detainees.
And as the sheriff, I'm not going to violate the law and start telling people you can't bring your legitimate arrests in.
Regardless, a group called No ICE for Me has submitted a petition to commissioners at the meeting calling for the county to end its agreement to hold immigrant detainees at the Cumberland County Jail. The group says about 3,000 people had signed it.
Immigrants all across the country are losing their jobs because of a pause on some work permit applications. Back in January, Trump administration officials paused applications for 3 programs which allowed people from Ukraine and Latin America to come into the U.S. legally. The Department of Homeland Security says that pause is due to fraud and security concerns. One of those programs helped Artem Sirenko come to Maine from Ukraine 2 years ago. He says he did apply to renew his work permit back in January. It did expire last month, but because of the pause on applications, it hasn't been renewed yet, so he lost his job. Now Sirenko says he's relying more on assistance programs like food stamps, and he's fearing he might have to go back to Ukraine, which is something he does not want to do.
I really like being here, and I would stay here even forever and make a family, make even my own business.
Maine Congresswoman Shelley Pingree's office says this pause on applications hurts Maine businesses and constituents who are legally living here.
The city of Portland is considering building a new child care center at 1125 Brighton Avenue. The city owns the building there, which it says is now underutilized. City officials say they want to lease it to a licensed child care center provider. If it goes forward, this child care center would provide care for kids 0 to 5 years old. City leaders say child care in Portland is scarce and costly. And with this project, they say they're hoping to help better meet child care needs in the community, particularly for people who work for the city of Portland. City spokesperson Jessica Grondin says about half of the center's spaces would be reserved for city employees to help with recruitment and retention.
We did a survey of them and found that childcare was a barrier, especially availability of childcare spaces and affordability of childcare. And so that really was a top priority for them. And so we started looking to see how we could best address that need and kind of fill those gaps.
The Portland City Council's Housing and Economic Development Committee is meeting at 5:30 tonight over Zoom to review this plan. The city is encouraging people to attend the meeting and share public comment on the proposal. You can find the link to join and more details on the city's website.
And one more time, we would love for you to get involved in our show. So if you can think of something you'd like to hear us chat about or get our opinions on, or at least start us on a road, then we'll take a left and a right, and then we'll probably do a U-turn, put the hazards on,
And then
get the
we'll bring
breakdown
Todd
laid,
back.
and then we'll answer whatever it was you asked. Anyway, send it in to thelastcup@newscentermaine.com, and we will chat about it right here. Thank you for joining us for Last Cup on News Center Maine Plus. Stay here all day. We've got more news, we got weather, we got so much more.
And we'll be back tomorrow starting at 4:30. Well, Lee and Todd start at 4:30. I'll join them at 5. See you then.